Roadrunners, welcome to the 2020 Convocation, Virtual Edition. I hope that you are all doing great. Your participation in this evening's convocation represents your commitment to your future through education, and we are honored that you chose MSU Denver as the vehicle for your success. Tonight, we are also here to wrap up Welcome Week, celebrate the start of a new semester, and to more officially welcome new MSU Denver students to our Roadrunner community. My name is Dominique Perez, and I use the pronouns she, her, and hers. Today, I'll be one of your convocation hosts. I'm in my senior year here at MSU Denver, majoring in criminal justice. While being here at MSU Denver, I've also had the privilege of sitting on numerous planning committees, such as Homecoming Week, and I am also involved in the student government as a SACAB representative. Even though we are not physically together, we are all MSU Denver Roadrunners, and we are here for each other. As each of us get ready for the start of the fall semester, no matter where you are, know that you are joining a Roadrunner community of students just like you who are eager to start strong and make this an excellent semester. Now, let me pass it to my co-host for their introduction.
Thank you, Dominique. Hi, Roadrunners. My name is Kayla White. I use the pronouns she, her, and hers. Today, I'll be your other convocation host. I'm in my 4th year at MSU Denver, and I'm majoring in sports management, and I am also involved in Roadrunners volleyball program. This kickoff event serves as a bookend to each student's academic journey. With convocation as the opening ceremony and commencement as the final goal, the path you take towards becoming an MSU Denver alumni will depend on your decisions, what you choose as a major, the relationships you forge with your professors, classmates, and staff, and how to take your learning from inside and outside of the classroom into the real world. Whether this is seeking an internship, joining student organizations, getting involved in an undergraduate research, civic engagement, or attending programs, summits, and conferences, this is still part of the Roadrunner experience, and in this coming year will be done all online. As you look to create your experience at MSU Denver, you won't be alone in your decision making. We've got you, and you will have the support of the MSU Denver community to help you get to the finish line of graduating. All that to say, I hope you get involved, ask for help when you need it, share your journey with others, and be proud to be a Roadrunner. We are here tonight to celebrate the start of the semester and would like to do so by talking about the history of the Auraria campus.
While we are not physically together yet, the Auraria campus is home to MSU Denver. It's important to pause and remember the history of the land that is home to our physical educational spaces. Before the Auraria campus was built, there was a Latino community that gathered around St. Cajetan's Church, and Eastern European immigrants who established their community around St. Elizabeth's Church. Before that, the Apache, Ute, Cheyenne, Comanche, and Arapaho tribes who lived on and around the banks of Cherry Creek were displaced as the Colorado Gold Rush of 1858 and 1859 led to settlements like Auraria and Denver. By knowing this history, we can better understand our place within it and seek to be in right relationship with the people who were here before us and with the lands we too must steward in our work. Enjoy this video of Auraria history produced and edited by fellow students from Met Media, which is the central media hub of our student-produced newspaper, radio, TV, and magazine contents.
What's in a name? Is it your history? Is it your people? Or is it something more? Maybe it's all of the above. A name is like a story, and any good story is worth telling.
Here at Metropolitan State University of Denver, we are proud to tell our story every day through our more than 85 undergraduate degrees and 7 master's programs, through our new Aerospace and Engineering Sciences building, through our championship-winning sports teams and our Emmy Award-winning student newscasts, but above all, through our commitment to providing affordable higher education for all Coloradans, regardless of your background. But in order to fully understand what it means to be a part of the MSU Denver community, we have to go back, way back, over 150 years ago to a small town in the Kansas Territory called Auraria.
Auraria was home to a large number of Europeans from its founding in 1857 until the early 1900s, when the expansion of rail encouraged people to leave the old city centers of Denver and move to the suburbs. By the 1920s, the Auraria population was primarily Hispanic, with its inhabitants hailing from southern Colorado, New Mexico, and many from Mexico herself.
However, by the 1940s, the largely Hispanic population of Auraria began to concern Denver city officials. And when Auraria experienced a devastating flood in the summer of 1965, Denver jumped at the opportunity to redevelop the neighborhood into a center of higher education in the city. Of course, that meant original Aurarians would have to be relocated, and although they fought the city, their case would ultimately lose out. Relocations were completed by 1972, and that's when the story of MSU Denver and Auraria campus really begins.
Founded in 1965 as an opportunity school named Metropolitan State College, the idea was that people from all walks of life would have an opportunity to earn a college degree at an affordable price, including giving displaced Aurarians and their descendants scholarships to attend the college. From Metro State's founding in 1965 until joining Auraria campus in 1977, Metro students had to run between multiple downtown buildings in order to attend classes. In 1974, the student body voted to change the mascot from a Mustang to a Roadrunner, believing it better represented the university. Today, the Roadrunner is affectionately known as Rowdy. In 1990, the school was renamed Metropolitan State College of Denver to help with name recognition. In 1991, Metro students, in conjunction with CU Denver and Community College of Denver, voted to buy the old Tivoli Brewery buildings to turn them into a student union. In 2013, Tivoli was named one of the best student unions in the country.
On April 18, 2012, Metropolitan State College of Denver became Metropolitan State University of Denver when then Governor Hickenlooper signed a bill into law right here in the lobby of the Jordan Student Success Building. Then President of MSU Denver, Steve Jordan, said at the time, quote, "Today might be the best day yet to be a Roadrunner. This isn't the end, though. Rather, it's the beginning of a new era for Metro State." And a new era it was.
In the early 2000s, the NCAA Division II men's basketball team won the national championship for the first time in its history. And in 2004 and 2006, the women's soccer team won the national title. These were major turning points in each program's history. But another major milestone happened just months before being designated a university. MSU Denver graduated its first master's degree students. In 2012, MSU Denver became the first university in the country to offer discounted tuition rates to Dreamers. And in 2019, the university that serves more Latino students than any other in the state was designated an Hispanic-serving institution by the federal government. But a name is about more than where you have been. It's also about where you are going. Our current president, Dr. Janine Davidson, has made a name for herself. She held the rank of second lieutenant in the Air Force and became the first woman to pilot the Air Force's tactical C-130. In 2015, she was appointed by then-President Barack Obama to become the Undersecretary of the Navy, a position she held until Obama left office in January 2017. She joined Metropolitan State University in the summer of 2017 and has hit the road running. So, what is in a name? It's a unique blend of people, history, dreams, and a lot of hard work. A name is how you come to be known. It's something you spend your whole life making. A name bonds generations and people who have never and will never meet. A name transcends time and borders. A name is more than a mascot, it's more than a catchy abbreviation, and it's more than the sum of its parts. A name is like a story. And any good story is worth telling. What story will you tell?
What a great introduction to Auraria and MSU Denver history. Roadrunners, remember, your story is worth telling. And now it is my honor to introduce MSU Denver President, Dr. Janine Davidson. Prior to her appointment in 2017, Dr. Davidson served as the 32nd Undersecretary of the United States Navy under President Barack Obama. Her appointment as Navy Undersecretary followed nearly 30 years of academic, civilian, and military service. Davidson began her career as an Air Force officer and cargo pilot. She was a distinguished graduate of the Air Force Squadron Officer School and was the first woman to fly the Air Force's tactical C-130. We've had the honor of having her as our 9th president for the past 3 years. Please welcome President Dr. Janine Davidson.
Welcome, Roadrunners, to Metropolitan State University of Denver. I'm MSU Denver's President, Janine Davidson, and it is my absolute pleasure to welcome you to our 2020 Convocation. Now, Convocation marks your first step on your road to becoming an MSU Denver graduate, where you will join 96,000 alumni who have gone on to advance their communities and the great state of Colorado. Now, I understand that plans change, but our mission does not. For more than 50 years, MSU Denver has pushed the boundaries of what is possible for higher education. We see higher education as the foundation for the American dream. Now, what this means is that if you work hard, you should have an opportunity to get ahead, period. And regardless of where you've been, we will help you get to where you want to go. So are you ready to reimagine possible? Because let me assure you, you are exactly where you should be. MSU Denver is an incredible place, unlike any other university in the state or in the country. You really have made a wise decision to come here. At MSU Denver, classes lead to careers, and learners connect with leaders, and we are ready to welcome you to our diverse student body. MSU Denver, all students are welcome here. MSU Denver is actually the leader in diverse enrollment in Colorado. We welcome people of every community and background, religion, nationality, gender, identity, and age. So if you're first in your family to ever go to college, or if you're following in the footsteps of others, you have a place here, and we will help you get to where you want to go. At MSU Denver, we never settle. We pride ourselves on adapting to the needs of today's students and the needs of society. And that's why we're so focused on connecting our classroom to actual careers and to partnering with industry leaders so that you can find your way and go on to have a better career. But it all starts now, right now, as you begin your journey. Supporting students on this journey and helping them overcome any sorts of challenges is what MSU Denver does best. For instance, in response to this year's health crisis that became an economic crisis, we amped up our student emergency fund to help support so many students who had actually lost their jobs. Including, we created a specific fund just for our dreamers. We made hundreds of laptops and other sort of tablets and devices available for students who might not have had the technology to transition to that remote learning. And this summer, we have been spending a lot of time just preparing for you. Our faculty have been working all summer to create new online courses and to enhance their own teaching skills for online learning and to help you get the best, excellent online instruction you can possibly have. We also have new teaching assistants. Those are students just like you who will be deployed to help you and support you in your online learning this fall. And we also have other excellent resources in our tutoring and our writing centers. We will continue to evolve to support you, your students, as the climate and the culture in our country and our community changes over time. We're committed going forward to offering flexible pathways even after this crisis goes away. You'll be able to take online or in-person classes at high quality and best value to continue your journey. So whatever this year holds, and whoever plays a role in your experience, understand that your first year at MSU Denver is the start of an experience that will change your life. And whatever challenges this year may hold for you, there's no better place for MSU Denver to reimagine what's possible for you and your future. So whether you're working full-time, whether you have a family, whether you're serving our country, or doing all of those things, we will be here for you and we will adapt to your life. We will be with you every step of the way. So this is your place. This is your university. You belong here. Welcome to MSU Denver. And thanks for tuning in.
Thank you, Dr. Davidson, for those inspirational words and welcoming remarks for our new Roadrunners. Up next is Bobby Lafibre, a 2004 graduate of Metropolitan State University of Denver. Bobby Lafibre is an award-winning writer, performer, and cultural worker fusing a non-traditional, multi-hyphenated professional identity to imagine new realities, empower communities, advance arts and culture, and serve as an agent of provocation, transformation, equity, and social change. His work has appeared in the New York Times, Huffington Post, The Guardian, American Theater Magazine, NPR, and Poets.org. In 2019, Lafibre was named Colorado's 8th Poet Laureate, making him the youngest and first person of color to be appointed to the position in its 100-year history. Lafibre holds a bachelor's degree in psychology from the Metropolitan State University of Denver and a master's degree in art, literature, and culture from the University of Denver. Bobby often refers to his time at MSU Denver as a formative experience that advanced his agency for equity and social change. We recognize that the local and global movement affirming that Black Lives Matter and calling for racial justice is one that requires such social consciousness, understanding of the history that brought us to this moment, and of our current role within it, and you'll have opportunities to do just that here at MSU Denver. Bobby is such an inspiration for many, and those are just a few of the reasons why we are so excited to hear from him tonight. So please, welcome Bobby back to MSU Denver. Bobby, take it away.
Hello all, Bobby Lafibre here, Colorado's Poet Laureate. I'd just like to begin by thanking the organizers of today's convocation for the gracious invitation to be in community with you here today for such a momentous and defining moment in your lives. As an alumnus of the Metropolitan State University of Denver, I feel tremendously honored to share this space and time with you for your first official university event. Really, it is my profound pleasure to be able to deliver this message to you. You know, when I began my first day at MSU Denver, I took a huge leap for myself and for my family, as I would be the first person on either side of my family to ever attend college. My grandparents were migrant farm workers, and neither one of my parents graduated high school. My parents always told me, though, that I had to go to college. They didn't know the first thing about how to make it happen, but they told me I had to. I've always been really grateful for that. It wasn't easy, though. You know, I was working full-time to pay my tuition, and I had no idea what I was doing. I'll talk a little bit more about that in a bit, but before that, and before anything else, let's address the elefante in the room, right? Because there is a big elephant in the room. I am absolutely certain that when you dreamed about what this day would be like, you had no idea your entry to college would look like this. You had no idea it would be happening during these wildly unprecedented circumstances, in these times, at this moment. But as people dedicated to growth and education, as people dedicated to understanding yourself and the world around you more profoundly, what an opportunity and a privilege that it is so. I hope that you have been able to take inventory of your thoughts, feelings, and emotions during these wildly visceral times. These experiences will become heirlooms. You know, we are collectively knocking at the door of a portal to new things. So I say to you, don't get lost in yesterday or consumed with tomorrow. Be present today. You know, we are watching the unfolding of new beginnings. Change is here, and you are an exciting part of that. Regardless of what you ultimately choose to study, everything in our world has been and will be impacted. You know, we don't know how long we will be forced to make accommodations or when we will return to some resemblance of the past. Maybe you don't even want to go back there, right? Maybe it's time to create and do new things. But the personal, educational, and social actions and intentions we take now will birth those new beginnings. New things that will have the strength and endurance to redefine our future. You know, this pandemic has taught us so much about our world, about ourselves, and reconfirmed a lot about what we already know. And as a poet, I spent a lot of time writing about this early on, right? Poets always attempt to encompass through language the human experience. And before I continue, I want to share a couple of poems that I wrote with you, or that I wrote during this pandemic of ours. I, like you, probably went through a range of emotions and moods and feelings. I, like you, maybe felt fearful, sad, excited, upset, hopeful, and numb at times. This first poem was the first one I wrote when I began working from home. I had that privilege. I started to think about this virus and who it was going to impact most, how the most vulnerable among us would be disproportionately impacted, how the most vulnerable among us are always the most at risk. COVID-19 made me think about justice, what it means, who it's for, how it shows up in society, in love, in literature, in our hearts. How do we get there? Is it a destination, a process, an imaginary place? I'm not sure. But this poem is simply titled COVID-19. The sirens are sounding. The screams are loud. The virus has packed its bags. World traveler without a passport. Borders are man-made. Walls cannot contain life on the move, but that's another story. Asian businesses were empty before streets. Racism. The toilet paper is gone. Panic begets panic. My 3 p.m. meeting is now a Zoom conference. Tom Hanks is raising his hand. Let's talk about the poor. 30 million uninsured. Ends meet public transportation to get there. Self-quarantine, privilege, paradox. Blue collars can't work remotely. Hourly wages side-eye the salaried. Go ahead and cancel school. Childcare is a killer too. Industrialized without a heart. Developed without a conscience. Capitalism gaslights, blames our bodies instead of broken systems. Wash your hands, cough into your sleeve, plutocracy lampooning universal health care. Call on your God or whatever. Just don't touch your face when you make the sign of the cross. As time progressed, I, like you, maybe felt uncertainty growing, right? Anxiety was abound, and the unknown was a ghost haunting the halls of normalcy. There was a moment, however, that I felt a bit of peace. We live in a world that normalizes and celebrates production. Oftentimes, we treat our bodies and minds like machines. If we're not good at self-care, this can lead to burnouts and a sort of moral fatigue. At one point during this pandemic, I found myself acclimating to that slower pace many of us were afforded, right? Traffic on our streets was low, businesses were closed, and we were forced to isolate ourselves in new and interesting ways. The conversation of physical distancing versus social distancing was an interesting one. The question became, how can we employ physical distance without losing social interaction? A cornerstone of what makes us human. And as I became comfortable in these places of pondering, these places of decentering the idea that we always have to be busy, I wrote this poem. It's called Nothing Left. And when there is nothing left to do but live, let us retire the noise and build a home inside the stillness. Grab a wrench and unfasten the parts of you that have become mechanical. Rest your weary limbs in the bed of anomaly. Outside, the machine is powering down. You can hear the birds when the gears aren't grinding. When there is nothing left to do but live, make a vacation of your body. Each part explored, a stamp on your passport. Begin with your heart, maybe. Crawl inside and sightsee. Ask difficult questions about who it is and why. Outside, the machine is powering down. You can hear yourself when the gears aren't grinding. When there is nothing left to do but live, simply show up. That has always been enough. And together, in this sudden strangeness, radical imagination will run wild. Tomorrow, being built today. You and I both are going to need that radical imagination to build tomorrow together. And you being here is one step in that direction. So if nobody has already done so, I would like to congratulate and officially welcome you to the MSU Denver familia. I welcome you to the first steps of a new path. You may feel like I felt when I started college, that you are building said path as you walk it. But don't you worry. Here at MSU Denver, you will both find and create the support and communities that you will need to get you to your ultimate goal, commencement. So never let that intention, that goal escape your mind. And as you navigate this new experience, I challenge you to intentionally activate your families, friends, biggest fans, and support systems to travel alongside you. Tell them as you learn how they can show up for you. Some will know how to help you. Some will not. But if they are truly in your corner, all of them will absolutely be willing to do so. And you'll find support in places that you least expected. I had an unexpected experience my first semester in my Intro to Chicano Studies class. Again, as a reminder, I was confused, uncertain, scared, and a first-generation college student who had no idea what he was doing or what to expect, right? There were times leading up to my first day of school when I actually wanted to quit before I even started. I didn't know if I had what it took to be there, and imposter syndrome is an ugly false song that I had on repeat. Then I met a professor and a poet. His name was Abelardo Lalo Delgado. Lalo was an amazing man with a big heart and a booming voice. He was the first Latino male teacher I ever had. Yep. Elementary school through high school, I was never taught by a Latino male. So Lalo and I had a lot in common. He was Chicano, I was Chicano. He was a poet, I was a poet. And slowly, I developed the courage to seek his guidance. What developed was a great mentorship that I credit for turning my uncertainty into confidence, my worries into opportunities. As I mentioned, currently, I serve as the state of Colorado's Poet Laureate. That means for the next 4 years, I get to serve as an ambassador of poetry across the state. This also means that often I have the honor and privilege of people's attention. I truly believe that I found my voice as a student at MSU Denver. MSU Denver was the place I expanded my worldview, met people similar and vastly different from me, and I was both challenged and coaxed into true personal growth. And I can't wait for you to have these same revelations, for you to meet new people, explore new horizons, and put your time and attention into something that brings you excitement, curiosity, and personal and academic fulfillment. As a new student, you will roll up your sleeves, place your hands in the dirt, and begin the work. Tomorrow, you will activate all of the things yesterday taught you, all of the things yesterday prepared you for, all of the things yesterday didn't prepare you for, and you will begin to leave your legacy, your unique fingerprint on the future. You will manifest the passion that ignites you, the drive that guides you, and you will engage your critical consciousness to grow in unbelievable ways. Outside of these virtual walls, there is a beautiful but broken and bleeding world that needs your hands and hearts and minds more than ever. Until a couple of months ago, we were riddled with collective complacency as a nation, right? A world where alternative facts and demagoguery seem to overshadow truth, love, and integrity. Are we on the verge of something new? I don't know. It depends on how we collectively react to right now. Because the world that we know, the country that we know, the one built on genocide and the enslavement of African people, is one where racism, sexism, misogyny, patriarchy, elitism, white supremacy, white privilege, homophobia, Islamophobia, transphobia, xenophobia, and intolerance are celebrated and normalized. We live in a world where the police continue to indiscriminately kill Black and brown folks with impunity. A world where we are more comfortable dropping bombs than we are building brother and sister in humanhood. A world where we are still constructing walls where bridges should be. But you all have the unique opportunity to use your education as a weapon of love, as a weapon of humanity, as a weapon of reason. And I don't necessarily like to use the word weapon to describe the tools we engage to evoke social change, but right about now, we are in a fight. We are in a fight for our lives, for our communities, for equality, for our health, for our humanity. We are in a fight for all of the sugar-coated ideals that this nation avows but religiously falls short of manifesting. So you can use these new weapons, right? These tools, these documents of privilege, and yes, these degrees you will one day earn are a form of privilege. Now, I know it may not feel that way when the student loan repayments kick in, but that's another story, right? You have the opportunity to leave this world better than you found it, to give your compassion legs and your action wings, to dismantle all of the man-made barriers we impose upon one another. When they tell you it's impossible to move mountains, build new landscapes. When they introduce you to the confinement of glass ceilings, remind them of the freedom of an infinite sky. We need to work together to take a leap of imagination to create better circumstances. We need to dream so vividly and work so tangibly that the unbelievable and seemingly insurmountable become attainable. We need your energy and your voice. I'm going to leave you now with a poem about voice. So thank you all so much for your journey, for inviting me into that with you. May that journey be fruitful. This is not a heart. It's a volume knob. You turn it this way when you wish to scream. You turn it this way when you wish to whisper. It is a gift and carries much weight with it. Your chest can feel as heavy as an ocean. There is more than enough silence beneath the surface for you to drown in. Be careful. It is a weapon and can hurt people. Their ears will not be ready for your anthem. So speak with purpose. Sound without shape is static, and you were not born a dead channel. You were born screaming. Does music belong to the instrument or the ears that hear it? If one receives a gift, it belongs to them and not the gift giver. So when you tell someone your name, does it still belong to you? Branches, violin strings, the wind, a bow. Music notes, hummingbirds, eardrums, flowers. Epithets, shotguns, humans, targets. This is not a heart, it's a volume knob. That makes your veins wires. If your veins are wires, then your limbs are speakers. If your limbs are speakers, then movement is a song. Running song, dancing song, kissing song, fighting song. Leave the world dancing in your headphone dust, drenched in speaker sweat, covered in eardrum graffiti, and invite them all to your sonic temple. Alone, you are just one word, but together we make a sentence. Together we have purpose. This is not a heart, it's a volume knob. With it you can sing many, many songs. Joy, acceptance, humility, forgiveness, fear, pride, hate, love, 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 love. Remember that refrain when the waves come, because they will come. They will try and mute you. They will try and drown you with their talking, talking, talking. They will try and sharpen your bones. They will try and sharpen your shoulder blades. They will try to convince you to cleave off your wings by shrugging from the weight of them, that the burden is too much to carry, that you deserve silence. They will try and deafen you. They will try and deafen you by firing their guns, their guns, their guns, by firing their guns, their guns. Put your guns away. Our weapons in our chest. Your body is an arsenal. Your gut a foxhole. Your lungs magazines meant to carry the ammunition of your breath. Your throat is a barrel, your tongue a trigger. Clink against the war drum of your jaw and echo the sound, no. No, you will not touch me. No, you will not call me that word. No, I will not move. Because a bullet cannot hurt an ocean. And waves are just static atop its depth, and you are louder than this. You are ruckus. You are opus. So shatter the silence and proclaim yourself. Turn up your volume knob so loudly that they never forget, and hand the world your name like it was a gift. Your spine, straighter than a ship's mast. Chin held higher than full sails. Static, crashing like waves breaking against your bow. The bullets of their lips firing, but missing with every shot. Congratulations, best of luck, and thank you for having me.
Bobby, we appreciate your inspiring words to welcome our Roadrunners this academic year. There is one more thing we must do before finishing the convocation ceremony. Even in a virtual setting, we have to play our fight song, MSU Denver's fight song, A Rowdy Encounter. It's just one of the ways we can celebrate our university, our community, and how we can get rowdy to cheer on our athletic teams. Check out this video with our fight song.
Cheer loud for Metro State, cheer for our 10 beyond 10. Fire on for Metro, fire on for Metro. Go, fight, win! Give them your fighting spirit, give them your Metro fighting. Fight on for Metro, fight on for Metro. Go, fight, win! R-O-A.
Before we close, there are a couple of quick thank yous that we need to make. First off, a thank you to all of tonight's presenters, Dr. Davidson, and Bobby Lafibre. Special appreciation for Met Media, Eric Lansing, John Kitzman, and our Roadrunner athletics team for their behind-the-scenes work to help put this together. A shout out to the Center for Multicultural Engagement and Inclusion team and all of the MSU Denver community for their support in coming together for Convocation.
That's a wrap for our ceremony. There will be some amazing upcoming virtual engagement opportunities for you to build community at MSU Denver throughout the semester. For more information, please visit msudenver.edu/convocation. There will even be fun incentives for engaging. This concludes tonight's program. We thank you for tuning in and are looking forward to seeing everyone on campus in the future. Good night. Go Roadrunners!